Hey there, my friend. This is Dr. A from the Fit Father Project. Welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're gonna cover the 5 most common reasons why you're not building muscle. And this video is for you if you're a guy in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, and you wanna pack on muscle, but you feel like it's been a frustrating, slow process. Or you just don't have a lot of clarity on what it takes to build muscle after 40, this video is essential. Because what we're gonna do is cover the 5 common pitfalls, everything from training split to nutrition, to even some mindset stuff. And we're able to see the landscape of the 5 common mistakes that most guys make. You might see yourself in some of these dimensions, and you're gonna have clarity on what to do to proceed forward to make some awesome gains this year. Without further ado, let's get into the first reason why guys over 40 are not gaining muscle.
Fitfatherproject.com.
Reason number 1 is you're not eating enough calories, and you're actually probably not eating the proper muscle building foods. And this is super important, especially as we're over 40, because we know the metabolism slows down. And so you need to eat enough foods to keep you anabolic and create this muscle building environment. Especially if you've just come off a weight loss phase or you've been through a weight loss journey previously, a mindset shift has to happen here where you need to start eating more food. And you may feel a little concerned about that because you run the risk of putting on some more weight. And that's something you must get over. Because the simple fact is, if you undereat on the calories and you hit the gym and you're trying to lift heavier weights and get stronger, you're not going to be creating that anabolic environment that's required for growth. Because you could be lifting super heavy weights at a calorie deficit and you're still on a cutting plan. Yes, your body composition may improve some, but you're not going to be building muscle at the rate that you want. So here's a couple specific recommendations for you to help. The first thing is I recommend that you get a big post-workout meal. So this is a bigger post-workout meal than you would have had if you were ever in a weight loss or cutting phase. After exercise, I want you to get at least 500 calories, but probably up to 1,000 calories. After workout is a really special time to get calories in. You get this nutrient partitioning effect because after you lift weights, your muscles actually become sponges for carbohydrates. So don't be afraid to have some carbs after training. Your body will suck that up. And actually, when you get a rise of insulin after exercise, it's very beneficial because as insulin rises, it actually squashes that stress hormone cortisol. Cortisol is one of our main catabolic hormones. We're going to talk about that a little later in the video. When cortisol comes down, insulin goes up. Insulin actually drives some of these cellular signals for muscle growth. It stimulates something called mTOR that increases protein synthesis. So that big post-workout meal is fantastic. And what I used to do when I was actually a competitive bodybuilder is I'd start off the post-workout meal with a bunch of fruit. I would pick one type of fruit and I'd get at least 50 grams of carbs from that. And then I would pair that with some kind of protein, like a whey protein. It can be a plant-based protein. And I typically throw 3 to 5 grams of creatine in that shake as well. And that did not really fill me up, but it gave me a boost of like 300, 400 calories. And then around 30 minutes later, I had a big proper meal. And then I got around 1,000 calories. And the reason simply prioritizing more calories in the post-workout meal is great is you can have the same breakfast that you had when you were on a weight loss phase and the same dinner, but if you have a big post-workout meal, you've just bumped your calories up and you're gonna be in a more anabolic environment. Another thing you consider when you're setting up your nutrition plan is to set a protein target and focus on at least hitting that. Now, protein is key for muscle building. A lot of us have heard this, and a general target that could be good for most people is to take around 0.75 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. And for many people, this is gonna be around 150 to 200 grams of protein. And this is a good target, but protein alone is not enough to build muscle, but it's gonna be helpful. And if you base your meals and spread that protein throughout the day, it might look like you have 3 meals with around 50 grams of protein in them, and that's great. And then you can fill in the rest of the calories with healthy carbs and healthy fats. And if you're the type of person who likes to get really specific and track things, you can scroll in the description of this video. We have a free calorie calculator that shows you exactly how many calories we recommend you eat for muscle building, and it actually breaks it down into the kind of macros that we recommend as a split. But the thing is, you don't actually need to track this stuff to the gram to build muscle, but if you find as you're going throughout the week and you're weighing yourself that you're not gaining any weight, then you do need to increase the calories. And I think the first place is bump your protein up, and then past there, you bump your healthy carbs and your healthy fats. Now, the next reason why you're not building muscle is you're probably designing your own workout program. And this is the thing. We have something in our minds called a familiarity bias. We basically like to do the stuff we're comfortable with. If you go into any commercial gym, you'll find the same kind of people doing the same routine over and over, week by week, year by year, because it's what they know. We want to do the stuff that we know. But muscle building is really beneficial when we actually get a structured, tailored plan that modulates a couple key variables. It has variable intensity. It is variable volume, variable frequency, different exercise selection. And I find many people who are spinning their wheels who want to see gains, they're making their own training plan up. And the cool thing is there's a lot of strength in sports science out there where people have dialed in proper training splits, where there's changes in exercises every few weeks, where there's progressive resistance over time, and you're making sure that you're doing all these good factors that lead to muscle gains, that volume increases over the course of a training split, that you take actually programmed deload weeks to allow your body to rest and recover. If you're not on a plan that actually has these elements dialed in, you're shortchanging your results. You're still spending a lot of time in the gym, but you're just not being as effective as possible. And what I recommend is if you're going to the gym and you don't know exactly what you're gonna do ahead of time, you're not prepared enough to have a maximized muscle building workout. In fact, in some of the programs that we design for our fit fathers and fit mothers, everything is laid out set by set, rep by rep, even down to the warm-up sets. And the reason that's so motivating is imagine going into the gym, getting a program that you know is based on good periodization and science, and you just check the boxes and you follow through. And then you know, next time you get into the gym, you can look back. That's what I did. Now I'm gonna go for this target this week. And now you're starting to get progressive resistance over time. You're gonna kick in muscle building. So if you're designing your own workouts, chances are you're shortchanging your results. Reason number 3 is your stress hormones are probably too high. And I mentioned cortisol earlier. Cortisol is one of our body's main stress hormones. And our nervous system has a couple different branches. There's a branch called the parasympathetic, which is more of a rest and relax. And then there's the sympathetic, which is more of like the drive, fight or flight. When you're going into a workout, it's fine to have that sympathetic drive. But what kills your muscle building results is if you're in that stress state all the time. And a couple ways that people stay in this stress state is they use a lot of stimulants, coffee, fat burners, stuff like that. You're not sleeping enough. Or you just have a kind of lifestyle or some mental habits and patterns that keep you stressed all the time. Cortisol is a catabolic hormone. It breaks things down. And from a biological perspective, this makes sense. We've all heard the example of you're being chased by a saber-toothed tiger or something like that. It's good to have cortisol surging through your body, increasing your blood pressure, breaking down carbohydrates from your muscles, giving you early energy to run. But when your body's actually trying to accumulate tissue, build up muscle, you need to be in an anabolic state. And cortisol is the exact opposite of that. For anabolism, it's good to stimulate insulin. It's good to be in that rest, relaxed state where the body feels like it's okay. I can divert resources away from immediate threats and into building and restoring. And another thing to speak specifically about this is if you're not optimizing your sleep like crazy, you're shortchanging your muscle building results because you want to be training as hard as you can safely, and then you need the sleep to recover. And there's an old bodybuilding encyclopedia book that many people have read, and there's a quote in there that goes, when you're trying to build muscle, if you don't have to run, you should walk. If you don't have to walk, you should lay down. If you don't have to lay down, you should sleep. And the concept here is you want to divert all of your resources to training really hard, and past that, you really want to be focused into being as in a relaxed state as possible to promote anabolism. So is your stress level optimal? And if not, where can you make improvements? Now, the fourth reason why you're not building muscle is you get injured too often. And this is so key because look, muscle building is a progressive ongoing process. And if every few months you're getting hit with some kind of joint injury or stuff's not feeling good, it can be super demotivating and you have to take a lot of time off and you're not able to be progressively resisting on these exercises and getting stronger. So the ways to prevent injuries is 1, do an assessment. Where do you know you have asymmetry? And it's probably due to some of your sleeping patterns or your daily posture if you're on a computer. Is there any asymmetry with your shoulders, with your knees, with your hips? What feels off for you? When you start to think about that and identify that, you need to start stretching, foam rolling, pressing, massaging, and working on all those soft tissue areas and movement patterns. Specifically, a good time to do it is before your actual workouts so that you're really primed, so you get better movement patterns and you really work out every area. If you have shoulder problems, you need to be spending 5 to 10 minutes foam rolling that shoulder, doing shoulder circles, maybe doing some band work like this. If you have knee problems, you need to be going on YouTube, whether it's our channel or other great channels, and doing some of these knee exercises, strengthening your anterior tibialis muscle, doing some of these knees over toes type stuff to really get your knees ready and primed. If you get injured constantly, it's going to be super demotivating. I know you know the drill. Another good idea too is to take some natural anti-inflammatories. And I'm not talking about prescription anti-inflammatories or Advil, Tylenol, or any of that kind of stuff. I'm talking about things like fish oil, things like curcumin, maybe some joint supplements and support. Anything you can do to support your joints, especially over 40, is going to be key for muscle building because when the joints are healthy and then the muscles are nice and fluid and you're doing some stretching and rehab work, you're going to be in great shape. And if you want something to do on the days where you're not working out, take a walk, do some stretching and foam rolling. Press on any tissue that's tight, move it around. I know for me, because I do a lot of work on a computer, oftentimes I'm sitting like this and I have this right trap and then my neck's stuck like this. And I need to open that stuff up before I train because then I perform a lot better. And the final reason, number 5, that you're not building muscle fast enough is you're simply impatient. And this is just a fact. Unlike weight loss, where you can lose 5 pounds in a week, you cannot build 5 pounds of muscle in a week naturally. So the key is to be very patient and not actually to focus on the end result of muscle building, but to focus on the process. So specifically, this is why having a plan and having a journal and having something you're writing down and tracking is so motivating, because the key to actually building muscle is to focus on performance metrics. It's to focus on getting stronger. It's to focus on doing more volume over time. And guess what happens? When you improve the performance and the strength metrics, that will translate, when paired with good nutrition and recovery, into more muscle over time. So take progress pics. Focus on getting stronger at the big key movements, and that's gonna be the best thing that will serve you. It is a patient person's game to build muscle over time. So focus on strength, and you're gonna be rewarded over time with great muscle building results. And I'll tell you this, if you do a structured 9-week training plan like we have with our old school muscle program or our Fit Mother 30X program, you go through these and you structure training, you can change your body dramatically in 2 to 3 months. That's pretty much how much time it takes to really put on a noticeable amount of muscle mass, but you can do it. And it can be a very rewarding process because you have everything very dialed in. So I hope you found this valuable, my friend. These are common pitfalls, and you may find yourself on any of these, and I'm curious. If you do, comment below. Let me know if there's one of these that you fall into, or if you have any other questions or some other area where you don't, comment below. Me and my team would love to help you out and talk further about your goals and if and how we can support you. And also, we always have cool stuff in our videos in the description. We have links to free workouts, free meal plans for both men and women over 40, because we're the Fit Father Project and Fit Mother Project. This is what we do. And if you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe. We have some playlists on our channel specifically for muscle building. So if this is a topic you want to go deeper on, we have a ton of stuff where I actually show you in the kitchen muscle building meals. We get into the best kind of muscle building exercises and how to modify them and make them safe for aging joints and stuff like that. So check that out. And of course, hit the thumbs up if you found this valuable. If you got any key insights or you just feel like this information resonates with you, hit the thumbs up button because it helps us spread this video across YouTube to reach more people who need this info. Again, my name's Dr. Anthony Balduzzi from the Fit Father and Fit Mother Projects. Thanks for being here. I'll see you on our channels, and I'll talk to you very soon.